How much do you think these eye screw hooks are worth? Probably just a few cents, and most people would only use them to hang or secure something. But today, I want to try a completely different idea. And if it works, what comes out of these tiny pieces of hardware might make you see them in a whole new way. The interesting thing is that these eye screw hooks are only a small part of the entire project. And honestly, if I showed you the final result right now, you'd probably have a hard time figuring out how it was made. Here I have a few bolts, and even this old bolt organizer tray. At first glance, none of these parts seem related. But the eye screw hooks you saw at the beginning of the video are actually what inspired this entire idea. The challenge is, I need to build a mechanism precise enough to make all these parts work together. The first step is creating a circular disc. It sounds simple, but this piece will become the foundation of the entire structure. If it's not balanced properly, every step that follows could be affected. Once the basic shape is ready, I drill a hole right through the center. This will become the key connection point in the entire mechanism. And when you're dealing with moving parts like these, precision is something you simply can't ignore. Next, I mount the piece onto a drill. At this point, you probably still have no idea what I'm building. And that's completely understandable. Because even with all the components laid out in front of you, it's still difficult to imagine how they'll eventually come together. Now things start getting a little more interesting. I'm dividing this circular disc into 3 equal sections. Not 2, not 4, but exactly 3. And without any one of these 3 positions, the entire concept behind this project simply wouldn't work the way I want it to. Can anyone guess why? Now I'm installing a bearing holder. At first glance, it may look like just another small component, but in reality, it's one of the most important parts of this entire project. Because from this point on, what I'm building is no longer just a collection of assembled parts. It's about to become a fully functioning, moving mechanism. And finally, the 3 eye screw hooks are in place. Looking at them alone, you might think they don't do anything special. But in just a few minutes, they'll become the primary load-bearing parts of the entire system. And that's exactly why I chose this type of screw from the beginning. Next, I secure 3 copper wires. By now, some viewers with mechanical experience may already be starting to figure things out. But not so fast. The most important part hasn't appeared yet. These 3 wires aren't simply being held in place. They need to move in a very specific way. And this is the moment I've been waiting for since the beginning of the video. I connect the drill to the mechanism I've just completed. As soon as the shaft starts spinning, the 3 copper wires begin moving at the same time. If everything is calculated correctly, what happens next is exactly what this entire project has been leading toward. Watch closely. The 3 separate wires begin twisting themselves together. One turn, then another, and another, until they become a much stronger, twisted copper cable than they were individually. And that's exactly why I needed 3 eye screw hooks. After that, I finished shaping the end of the cable. Now everything finally becomes clear. What we've just created isn't simply a twisted wire. It's a stronger, cleaner, and much more useful cable that can be applied to a wide range of DIY projects. What I like most about this project isn't the twisted copper cable itself. It's the fact that the entire mechanism was built from items most people would never look at twice. These eye screw hooks, a few bolts, an old plastic tray, some copper wire, and an idea. What do you think? Could this mechanism be used to twist other materials besides copper wire? I've already tested a few interesting possibilities. But first, I'd love to hear your answer.